You know the funny thing about careers? We all got fed the same fairy tale growing up. Work hard, learn the skills, put in the effort, and eventually you'll get rewarded. Promotions, raises, recognition, it's all just a matter of time, right? That's what I thought too. I spent months, no, years, grinding, learning, improving, going the extra mile, all while being told that if I kept it up, I'd land the next big opportunity. And then the moment finally came. The position I had basically built myself for was finally open. And guess what? It went to someone else. Not because they worked harder, not because they were better, just because someone higher up decided they fit the role more. Just like that, I realized. It didn't matter how much effort I put in. My career was never in my hands to begin with. And that's when it hit me. This entire system is broken. But what if I told you that moment wasn't a failure? It was actually the best thing that could have happened. Because it forced me to see the truth about careers. And once I figured that out, everything changed. But before you throw your laptop out the window and move to the woods, let me tell you what I mean. Stop thinking your job equals your career. You treat your job like it's your entire career. You work hard, wait for a raise, hope your boss notices you, and think that somehow, over time, this will turn into something fulfilling. It won't. A job is just something someone pays you to do. A career? That's the entire journey of how you grow, build skills, and create value. If all you're doing is getting better at your job, congrats. You're making yourself more useful to your employer, not to yourself. This is how you will wake up at 45, wondering how the hell you ended up here. I know you already feel like you're just mentally checked out from work, like you're there, but not really there. You show up, do the bare minimum, count the hours until you can leave. And for what? A paycheck that barely feels worth it? A career path that feels like a dead end? You're bored. You're tired. Not just physically, but in that deep, soul-level exhaustion. Your brain keeps whispering, this can't be it. There has to be more to life. And you know what? You're right. There is more. But here's the part no one tells you. You're not just going to find it. You have to build it. So what's the fix? You need to stop playing the good employee game and start playing the career game. That means thinking beyond your current title, company, and paycheck. I almost fell into that trap. When I got passed over for promotion, I sat there trying to act normal, but inside I was screaming, "Are you serious? After everything I've done, what was the point of any of it?" And then I had one thought that changed everything. Wait a second. I'm over here treating this company like it's my future, while they're treating me like I'm disposable. That's when I knew I needed a new game plan. Instead of seeing my job as my future, I started seeing it as a tool. Right now, I do the bare minimum to keep my paycheck coming in. Not because I'm lazy, but because I refuse to overwork myself for something that doesn't belong to me. Instead, I use my job to fund something that does belong to me, my new career. And this is where you might get stuck. You think you need to quit your job to start something new. You don't. Your job can be the training ground for the thing that actually matters. So, let's talk about what exactly builds a fulfilling career. Do what most people don't. You know what's terrifying? Studies show that most people stop growing 2 to 5 years into their career. They get good enough to do the job, then they stop learning. They wonder why nothing changes, why the same problems, same paycheck, and same "I hate my job" conversations keep happening year after year. It's because they're coasting. So let me ask you, when was the last time you actually learned something that made you more valuable? And no, sitting in another soul-draining Zoom meeting doesn't count. If you want to build a fulfilling career, you have to do something most people don't. Commit to learning and improving constantly. Because here's the brutal truth. Experience on its own does not make you better. Growth does. And if you don't know what to learn next, don't worry. That's exactly what we're covering in the following section. Now, if you're still watching, one of two things is happening. Either you're realizing how much this applies to you, or you're waiting for me to slip up and say something dumb. Either way, you're hooked. So do yourself a favor, hit subscribe. This channel is all about building a better future, not through luck, not through wishful thinking, but through real, actionable strategies that actually work. But here's the problem. Knowing you need to change isn't the same as knowing how to change. That's where most people fail, because even if you're fired up right now, you still have one big question. Okay, but what do I do next? Find the right career path. Let's be honest. How did you pick your career? Probably you didn't. Your career just happened to you. You picked a major in college, followed the money, listened to your parents, or just took whatever job was available. And now, you realized, oh no, I actually have to do this every day. So how do you fix this? Instead of asking, what career should I have? Ask, how do I actually like spending my time? Do you like working with people or prefer working alone? Do you enjoy solving creative problems or following structured processes? Do you want to manage projects or just do your own thing? Your career isn't just about your industry, it's about how you spend your time within it. And here's the biggest factor, control. You know what really makes people miserable at work? Not the job, the lack of control. If your boss controls everything you do, if you can't decide what to work on, how to do it, or even when you do it, you will never feel fulfilled. That's why people who work for themselves, even if they make less money, tend to be happier than people stuck in corporate misery. But even if you figure out what you actually want to do, there's still one massive mistake that keeps you stuck. You might assume you need to quit everything and start over from scratch. And because that feels risky and honestly terrifying, you don't do anything at all. That's why you stay stuck in your job you hate for years. But what if I told you that's not how real career changes actually happen? Pivot without quitting and going broke. You don't need to quit everything. You don't need to start over. Instead, you make small, strategic moves while keeping stability. Start freelancing or a side project related to what you actually enjoy. Take on new responsibilities within your current job that build better skills. Get certifications or training to move toward the next step. That's exactly what I'm doing. My job isn't my future, it's my funding and my training ground. Right now, I use it to learn skills that help me grow in my chosen field. And the best part, because I'm already experienced in my role, I can fulfill my duties while listening to YouTube tutorials all day. Instead of draining myself over a job that doesn't align with my long-term goals, I'm squeezing every ounce of value out of it, getting paid while training for what actually matters. And eventually, I won't need the job at all. And it's not just me. Go look at the stories of people who actually built fulfilling careers. They didn't wait for their job to reward them. They built their own opportunities. And if you think you don't have time for this, you have time. If you've ever rewatched a show you already know the ending to, you have time. Or just check your screen time. Most people don't realize they can do this. They assume they have to quit, take a huge risk, or just accept being stuck. But you don't. You can use your current situation to build your next one. And that's what separates people who move forward from people who stay in the same place. The ability to see beyond where they are right now. Most career changes don't happen overnight. They happen through small moves that stack up over time. And look, I get it. This isn't easy. Feeling stuck? That's not just some minor frustration. It's exhausting. It messes with your confidence. It makes you question if you're even capable of something better. And honestly, the scariest part isn't even the job you hate. It's the idea that this might just be it. That you'll wake up in 5, 10 years and realize nothing changed. But that's not going to be you, because the fact that you're here, watching this, means you already know you're meant for more. You just need to start. And yeah, that first step is hard. But you know what's harder? Staying exactly where you are. And watching one video won't change your life, but taking action will. If this helped you, hit the like button so I know this is the kind of stuff you need. Subscribe because I drop videos like this every week, and I don't want you falling back into the same old routine. And the bell? Well, YouTube is weird. If you don't hit that, they might never show you my next video, and that's just cruel. And if you don't know where to start, I made a full breakdown on how to learn a high-value skill in just 6 months, so you can actually build something that gets you out of this cycle. Watch it here.